Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to do Jenga block pumpkins. These are going to be the different ones that I've seen throughout the crafting groups and online. They're not going to be the upright ones. I'm just trying to find. I've seen a lot of those. I haven't seen this style. There were more the upright ones that were, I guess, stacked somehow. I figured out a design for them. Actually, when I was making my snowman, I played around with it a little bit and I thought, oh, you know what? I could do some pumpkins. It'll look really cool. So we are going to use the tumbling tower, aka Jenga blocks from the Dollar Tree. Anybody that's new here, you can find these in either packaging. These were the old packaging, but they still come out with this one. So I don't know why there's two different packagings. I believe they are the same company and they have the exact same SKUs on them. These are found in the toy section. I know a lot of people keep telling me they can't find them, and I said this in my last video, and just in case you didn't watch my last video of this Jenga block snowman, I'm in Canada. We only can shop in store. We can't shop online, but you can order them. Some stores you can get them shipped to without paying shipping. You'd have to check that with your area. So and they go out fast. So, you know, maybe if you talk to a manager, leave your number. I know I befriended a bunch of people at a couple Dollar Trees near my place. So whenever they get stock in, they let me know and they text me. So that's just, I wouldn't suggest buying them on Amazon or anything like that. We had a problem a year and a half ago during the pandemic that we didn't have any for a long time. So a lot of my previous builds over a year ago were, well, about a year ago, were made with the regular Jenga blocks, not the Jenga block brand, but they were tumbling tower, but they were bigger ones that I got from Dollarama, and that's another dollar store here in Canada. Anyways, I will be using Wellbond. I do not suggest hot glue. It doesn't seal the blocks properly, and I don't suggest it at all. You can use any kind of glue. If you've done any of my tutorials, I think it was Nikki, I think on my Crafty Shopper Facebook page, she said that Hobby Lobby has Wellbond. I know here you can buy it at Rose or Rona. You can buy it on Amazon, but then you got to pay shipping. Unless you want to use some of DT. I think someone said they use something from DT. I can't remember what it is. Just my preference, Wellbond. Now, you can buy this carpenter ruler. I know I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I always say this just because there's always new people on my channel that I noticed. L-shaped ruler from Dollar Tree, and when you're gluing blocks, whether it's this way or sideways, it's just a lot better to keep them centered and straight. And as I glue them, I keep moving them up in spots, and then I let them dry before I touch them. Always suggest to leave them a couple hours, even though Wellbond is very tacky and does dry fast. You want to make sure that they stay level. Now, the pumpkins today, you're going to be gluing them flat like this, then they're going to be upright like that, so it will all be horizontal. This was just one I played with. Now, grab a pen and paper. It's always better. I always find it's better. I even write this down, obviously, myself, because I'd have to count them, and I don't think you want to hear me counting blocks as I'm recording this. So I always write stuff down, and then I just keep all the numbers. Then when people ask me questions, sometimes then it's just easier for me to do a reference. So the first layer, we're going to do 4. We're going to go 5, 6. We're going to keep them all centered. 7, 8, 4 rows of 9. 8, 7, 6, and 5. And that's exactly how it is just centered. That you're just going to glue it like that. Now you can use, I always like to take the edges off. I don't like them when they're pointy like that unless they're going to be covered. You can use, there's different kinds of, if you don't, I usually have I actually bought a new toy, and it's not near me right now. It's actually a sander. It's a little handheld sander that I got at my local hardware store. I think it was like $40. Best thing that I ever bought. But I also use And I use just the sander, and I'll show you that in a minute. It's just taking, as you all know, when you're playing with these blocks, some of them are a little bit shorter than others, and they don't always glue super even, just because they're never the perfect shape with these. And of course, they're only $1.50 here in Canada, so they're not going to be, but we'll work with it. There's hardware section, crafting section, beauty section. Just taking the corners off, you can use either or maybe you have something I have a Dremel handheld, kind of like, you know, when they do your nails, that kind, just take the edges off. Now, once it's glued, I'm gonna do 3 of them. So I'm gonna do all 3 a little bit different. I've already got one glued. Now, as you can see, I already filed the corners on this one, and it will sit upright like that. Now, I'm gonna do 3 colors, so I decided I'm gonna do a couple of them a little bit different. I'm gonna have to glue these ones. I've already glued them. Play some music, pour yourself a glass of wine, beer, tea, coffee, whatever you like, preference, and just glue away. Now, I think it took me about 40 minutes to glue all these together. Now, the first one, I'm gonna do a gel stain. I want more of a farmhouse rustic kind of look. So this one's just a chestnut. It is from Lowe's. I'm just gonna stain this one. Now you gotta remind you with the stain that, you know, obviously you're gonna see through, so you're gonna see more of the, I'm just gonna show you something here. You're gonna see more of the grain in it. I'm just gonna try to grab my Jenga block bunny. So once I stain it, it's gonna look like this, as you can see the groove. So it'll be different than you see if it was glued the sideways, as opposed to you're gonna see a lot more of the grain on this one. The second 2, I am going to, and I'm on this paper towel mache sort of thing. So this one's gonna be the gel stain. These 2, I am going to paper towel mache. Rip up some paper towel. Now, if you've seen my Jenga block angel, I think my Jenga block coffins, I did with the paper towel, and I just like the texture on it. I know myself painting with white on the Jenga block, especially on this side that you're gonna see when it's upright, you're gonna have to do lots of coats, or you can still see it and you'll see the unevenness. So for me, just preference, you can skip this step if you don't want to. I'm just gonna put the paper mache on both of them. I'm gonna do the sides, and it's a good thing about when you do the sides too, that it also takes less, how could I say it, the less pointiness of the corners and makes them a little bit more round. And especially if you round them out and then put this on, it will just have a better look to it. Now, when you put this on, now I didn't know until I was in DT yesterday, I just used white glue. Even though you can use Mod Podge, I just found that the Mod Podge is more expensive if I keep using this size of a bottle as compared to this big size of the bottle. It's just painting it on like paint, putting this on, and just painting over. I just pour this in a cup and painting it on, and just doing layers all over. Once these 2 are papered mache, I am gonna do 1 orange and 1 white. So I'm gonna do this off camera. Once I get those done, I'll come back and we'll move on to the next step. So I painted this one, I told you, the rustic color. I did, for the tops of the pumpkins, you can buy these packs of wood stems at DT in the crafting section. I've kind of picked out some random ones, as you can see. For the rustic one, I actually just painted this one just with the gel stain as well, and I think it matched really well. For this particular one, I'm just going to take some branches off the floral, pop it right off. I'm going to show you here for the top, and try to find the ones that are kind of on an angle. I know the one for the orange pumpkin's not on an angle, but this one's on an angle. I'm going to turn the camera on after once I get everything glued on. So you just pull the stem off and you're just going to place it like this. You'll glue this on first, then you kind of glue it this way. Now they do have these ones. The only reason why I didn't like these ones, they were just super flat, and that's why I went with these ones. Once you have this one on, just gonna pop another one on the other side like this and just glue it down like this. Then you're just gonna add some Spanish moss to it. I'm not just gonna pull it out because this is gonna make a mess. Just around it. You're just gonna glue it on top. Now these come in a roll from DT, and I'm just gonna move this to the side because it's just gonna end up falling off. To get them rounded like this, you can just take anything circular. I got two that I'm just gonna have sticking out on the top, and you're just gonna, I don't know, do like 8 inches, however long you want, and I'm just gonna wrap it around like this, however long you want it, and then just cut it, take that out, and you got a roll for that one. Now for the white and orange one, I did a little bit of more of a rustic. Now I just like, I don't know how to, there's a lot of the painting to make it a little bit rustic, as you can see. Now this is my first time making this kind of dirty look, I guess if you can call it. I used the chalk paint from DT. It's lamp black. Now if you ever use this paint, it's not, I've tried it once and I didn't like it, and it wasn't to cover something fully, and it wasn't very good. I'm just going to show you on the other side because I didn't do the other side. And I just need a brush. Now, of course, I don't have a brush. I'm just going to stick this in here. Oops, that's way too much. So I just played around with it, and it actually turned out really well. So I just dabbed some on my finger, just a little bit like this. And I just went along the sides. Now, if you say, for example, that's too much, look, it just rubs right off, and you just can go around like that. I did the exact same thing with the white one. And I even got a damp rag because I got a little bit too much on at one point. And even that's a little bit too much, but that's okay. And I just try to do it like sideways, kind of like, you know, the shape of a pumpkin. Kind of doing round. It's kind of that dirty look, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. Let's add some more here. Oops. And like I said, if you think it's a bit too much, you can just grab a wet rag and it actually comes right off. So watery paint for the win. So for the white one, as you can see, I did a little bit of a dirty, I'm going to call it dirty look. I don't even know why. I just made a little bow, and you can get this roll from DT. Made a bow. I got a longer stick on an angle, and I'm just going to put some Spanish moss around it and add the bow on the front. Very simple and very cute. For the orange one, remember the little packs that I said I didn't like because they were too flat? Only reason why I like these ones is because they are green. And for the look of that, I got the bigger stem, which is not so, a little bit of on an angle. I'm just gonna pop some leaves on here as well. Do 4 like this. Glue this right on top. Now I took some raffia, and I used this one on my Jenga block scarecrow. It came in a 3-pack, so it came with the red, green, and the nude color. And I'm just gonna pop it on the front like this, and I got a little pine cone that was a little bit longer, and I just end up cutting it, and I'm just gonna put it on like this. I'm gonna glue these on. I'm gonna change the camera view, and I will show you the final product. All right, so they're now finished. I think they turned out really great. I really love how they just look, and they each have their own little character with the different bow and with the orange and the rustic one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Happy crafting. See you soon. Bye.